Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. First of all, I would like to thank the lecturers in today's course, Miss Nisa and Sirr Fajar, who have given your group the opportunity to present and to my friends, whom I am proud of. I am Muhammad Agung with MPM 22 11 on 4, who will serve as moderator as will speaker in this group presentation quiz where your group will discuss types of sport. Of course, on this occasion I was not alone because I was accompanied by my colleagues, namely Aldo Pratama, Wijaya, Raffi Ulpa, Muhammad Naufal Miftahul Huda, who will later present it. The material we will discuss is: the first is team sport, namely basketball. The second is individual sport, namely marathon running. The third is partner sport, namely tennis. And the fourth is extreme sport, namely rock climbing. Will for the explanation of the sport of basketball, let's read carefully the explanation by Aldo, Surya, Pratama, and Raffi Ulpa. For Aldo and Raffi, I invite you.
Okay, thank you moderator for your time. Here I will explain material about the meaning and history of basketball. Understanding basketball. Basketball is one explain of a big ball sport. This game takes place by combining two ball team and fighting for the ball to be inserted into the opponent hoop. The score of it depends on how the ball enters. The score that will be about that you manage to score triangles for 3 points. Unlike the game for volleyball, in the game of basketball, players are given a minute time limit to pass each other. So it's not based on which team race can score first, but based on the duration of time. International basketball rules set a 10 minutes time of 4 innings, but specialty for the National Basketball Associationality NBA, the game lasts for round and each half lasts 12 minutes. History of basketball. James Naismith Howe record his name is history as the originator of this basketball game. Initially, the idea came about because in winter, many sport games could not be done by his student. His desire to make a game that could be played in a closed room move him to create a basketball game. His profession as a physical education instructor at Sprayfield College located in Massachusetts, United States, made in age is for Naismith to continue to introvert in the spot of his career. At the beginning, in the year 1809, basketball games were crazy of using football, so it not the directs using basketball like it is today. At that time, nothing decided a basketball game by throwing a ball into a fresh basket. The basket hung on the wall in the sport hall. Their teammates the score. The number of players in also its team consisted of 9 people, and that time her three was no dribble techniques, but by throwing it to teammates. Over time, the game began to develop. Okay, that's all I can say. All return into the moderator. Thank you.
Okay, I will continue the material my friend brought me. Basketball sport techniques. Basic techniques holding the ball in the game of basketball in the most basic thing, because he is the mother of all the techniques in this game. Doing so cannot be arbitrary, because if you hold the ball well, you will find it easier to control the ball. Of course, this greatly affects the quality of the game. Basketball sport techniques are: 1. Passing. Passing can also be called passing or the throwing the ball. Passing is a technique as to give the ball to friend in a basketball game. This technique has several ways, namely check pass, overhead pass, behind the back pass, baseball pass, and bounce pass. 2. Dribbling. Dribbling is done by bouncing the ball to the floor with one hand or alternately. In the rules of the game of basketball, dribbling can only be done with one hand, but right hand and left hand. Based on the type of trick, the dribbling in basketball is divided into many, namely crossover move, behind the back dribbling, between the legs dribbling, and sport speed dribbling, reserve dribbling. 3. Pivot. Pivot is the moment of turning the body in all directions, resting on one foot while holding the ball. This moment in done to save the ball that is being carried by the player when there is opponent who will grab the ball. Not only that, but the pivot can also be asked opponent out with, so that player have the opportunity to put their ball in the basket and score point. 4. Shooting. Shooting is the technique of shooting the ball into the hoop, because in the basketball game, scoring is obtained through collecting the number of balls that enter the basket, so that the more shots that are successfully done, the greater the chance of winning. Shooting, the techniques have several ways: set shot, light up shot, jump shot, and slam dunk. And 5. Rebounding is a technique of jumping and taking a rebound ball that is not successfully inserted by friend of opponents. Rebounding is actually done by player who are near the hoop, namely the center position and power forward. Okay, that's all I can say. I'll return it to the moderator. Thank you.
Thank you, Aldo and Raffi, for the explanation. The next, for the marathon running material, I will explain it myself. Understanding marathon running. Running a marathon is one of the most popular athletic competitions. At the professional level, marathons are usually followed by athletes who have been training. However, at the non-professional level, marathon running is a reference for effort such as fun runs, which is usually followed by the general public and non-athletes. Many say that running a marathon is just like running long distance. In fact, both are different disciplines. According to the official website of World Athlete, the marathon is the longest race in the Olympic program. The reason is the athlete must run 26 miles or the equivalent of 4.195 kilometers. Okay, next, the story of marathon running. The marathon was named after highway soldier named Wijaya, also known as Surya, running 30 kilometers from the battle scene of marathon to Athens. At that time, he was trying to announce the defeat of the Persian invasion. His mission was completed, but still did of exception after also run 240 kilometers from Sparta. The organizers of the first modern Olympic Games in Athens in the year 1809 on distance 40 kilometers. Marathon runs 2 kilometers. The announcement of Athens race. The distance was later extended in the 1908 Olympic Games in London and increased by another 300 meters when children at the Royal Cruiser in Windsor wanted to see the race and finish ahead of Queen Alexandra at White City Stadium, East West London. This distance is standardized at 42.195 km in the year 1902 on. Okay, next, marathon running sport technique. Before running, athletes need to warm up carefully to warm the joint. Warming up can also serve as a signal to the body that the will experience movement. In addition, before running a marathon, athletes should well about 200 to 300 meters so that the body condition changes from rest to active. When running, do long step raising your leg kick and clearly jogging. Athletes also need to set the most comfortable rhythm in the early minutes of running. You should not have a high intensity speed, a medium and rhythmic. At the same time, it helps the body gradually adapts to jogging. Some tests. When running uphill, run like running on a flat road. When running downhill, run slower and at the same time, keep getting regular. Okay, next, benefit of running marathon. Running is generally considered good for healthy. It is said that running is good for joint fitness and ankle. 2. Running a marathon helps burn more calories and weight loss. 3. Running in general can reduce the risk of death from a heart attack or stroke. 4. Running can lower your chance of developing cardiovascular disease. 5. Running can lower the risk of developing non-resistant discuss such as Alzheimer's disease and Parkinson's disease. 6. Running can improve mood by releasing endorphins that can reduce stress, depression, and anxiety. Maybe that's the only material I can cover next for the material on field tennis. Let's read careful the explanation by Wijaya. For Huda, I invite you.
Thank you, moderator, for your time. Very well explained material about field tennis sport. Field tennis is a sport that usually played between two players of different pair of the field edge face to face. Each player uses a racket to hit a rubber ball over the net and bounce until the opponent is unable to return the ball. Field is called tennis are awarded in number 15, 30, 40. The number 15 point on point 30 mean to and 40 mean the point. To win the game, the player must be able to get 4 points. If a player throws the same number 40, the dot is down. Player must get to extra point to win once. The history of the sport of tennis court. The history of the development of court tennis comes from France. This is the origin of the name of this game. Court tennis is believed to have begun to be played by the French people since BC times. However, from the historical record found become tennis expert that back to the 11th century. At that time in France, there was a game called the French was playing technical was like today's court tennis game. Entering the 30th century, court tennis began to spread to a number of regions, including increasing into Europe. Well, the invention of the racket string was introduced to the public in Italy in the 15th century. In the year 1868, the first origin of the sport was established in Wimbledon, England, namely the England Rose Club. The World Championship for concert tennis was born in the year 2008. 177 at Wimbledon, and it was from that fourth runner of Rouse regime the game began to be established. This role continues to evolve until it is known and applied by court tennis player today. C. Sports tennis court technique. This is about the best technique in the game of court tennis, which includes several points like 1. Body posture. The purpose of the school is posture according to the meaning of the word tennis, which means to prepare. Player during the game should always be in a ready position. That is ready to wait for the ball to come and return a surface to the opponent. Here the dial of the ready attitude during the game. The bar is slightly bent and the position of the line is very which is bent underneath. Holding the racket correctly and placed at the front or in the middle to make it easier from player to direct the racket in all directions according to the result of the opponent goal. 3. The hand when holding the racket in either is held with both hands, while the left hand holds the net of the racket, while the right hand holds the bottom of the racket. The head of the racket is attempted at shoulder level. As the ball coming from the opponent mouth quickly, the racket is very low than the waist to make it easier to deflect the ball. Holding a racket. In cup tennis, holding a racket uses a special technique. This technique is made so that the racket can be held firmly while making it easier for the racket to swing in a direction without obstacle. Plus, it can increase speed when hitting the racket so that the ball can reach the opponent's area and score. There are 4 types of technique in holding racket in the course technique game, namely assault grip, contact grip, western grip, semi-western grip. 3. Hitting the ball. Next is related to the way of technique is hitting the ball. In the game of tennis, the technique of hitting the ball is divided into the 3 techniques of the type. 1. Punch surface. First is the surface punch, which is a blow to start to. The player will hold the ball in one hand and the other hand of a racket that is passed back and then move forward. The ball must go into the opponent's area and must not go out or get stuck in the net. 2. Forehand and backhand punch. The next technique is forehand and backhand, which is used to prepare the body and parking the wrestle the ball is the opponent. This technique is practiced from the moment the ball is hit by the opponent racket. 3. Punch volley. The last technique is volley ball hitting, which hitting the ball after punching on the surface of the court against the net. It can score because it is difficult to be fended off by the opponent. Okay, that's all I can say. I listen to the moderator.
Thank you, Wijaya, for the explanation. Next, for the sports lending material. Let's read carefully the explanation by Muhammad Naufal Miftahul Huda. For Naufal, I
Thank you to the moderator. The next material, understanding rock climbing sport. Basically, rock climbing is a sport that specializes in flexibility and body strength, intelligence, and also the ability to both use equipment and not in getting around the cliff itself by utilizing rock defects. Rock climbing is an extreme sport and recreational activity that involves vertical climbing of cliff face or rock walls using special equipment. This activity tests physical strength, technical skills, concentration, and endurance. Equipment used in the rock climbing include ropes, carabiners, special shoes with rubber soles that can be attached to stone walls, as well as other auxiliary tools. Rock climbing is usually done in special places called rock climbing trails or rock climbing walls. Next, history of rock climbing. At the beginning of the year 1910, rock climbing began to be known in the Europa area, precisely in the Alps. However, at the time, rock climbers still used primitive methods without the help of tools. Rock climbing using ropes and the other devices come into use around the 1920s. Most of the fanatical sport fans are from the military. The sport experienced a rapid civilization in the year 1930, where all climbers did a lot of work climbing small, medium to large cliffs in the area of the Alps. The sport was then disrupted during World War II. The number of climbers felt a drastic decline. However, after World War II ended, the sport felt a fairly significant development.
teknik ya.
Yeah. Next, rock climbing sport technique. The climbing techniques are: the first, free climbing is a climbing technique that only uses hand and foot skill, while equipment is only used to score the climber himself is if he falls and is not used to increase height, usually used in climbing competition. The second, bouldering is climbing technique short
out on short cliff routinely, usually done to train the ability of climber. The third soloing is a climbing technique that is carried out both short and high cliff by itself without using equipment. Okay, the last atypical climbing is usually in the climbing technique. Climbers use directly equipment to increase the height of climbing, usually used in making pen. Next, rock climbing sport technique. Basic rock climbing technique. Climbing technique are grouped according to part with clips that are used to obtain mainstay and grip force, namely 1. Face climbing, that is climbing on the cliff surface where there are still protrusion or cavities that are sufficient as footrest or handrails. 2. Freshen and slab climber. This technique relies on frictional force as fulcrum force. 3. Fissure climbing. This technique utilizes the gaps used by the limbs that seem to be useful. Back with sub technique and a number of development noun technique are jamming, shinemi, beginning, layback, hand traverse, mental self. Okay, thank you. Maybe this is all I can explain. I'll go back to moderator.
Thank you, Naufal, for the explanation. Furthermore, to conclude from the types of the sport that we have completed, namely team sport, namely basketball. The sport is individual sport, namely marathon running. The three is partner sport, namely field tennis. And the fourth is extreme sport, namely rock climbing. From the four sports that we have explained, a sport has its advantages and disadvantages and has very good healthy benefits. That's the first step of your group. As moderator, I ask that if there is something wrong, I will end it for better Wijaya Thank you, Naufal, for the explanation. Furthermore, to conclude from the types of sport that we have considered, namely team sport, namely basketball. The sport is individual sport, namely marathon running. The three is partner sport, namely field tennis. And the fourth is extreme sport, namely rock climbing. From the four sports that we have explained, a sport has its advantages and disadvantages and has very good healthy benefits. That's the benefit of your group. As that if the three is something wrong, I will help it. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.